Whole bunch of nice ground meat. No hormones, no antibiotics. Fresh from the forest, fair chase. I could go on and on. Or I could just go to the grocery store and get my ground meat there where no animals are harmed. I think they're worn out from all the playtime. Looks like we're running a daycare. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, look at the cuteness. Tilly! Are you a Tilly pup? Are you comfortable? Whoa! Look at you. Are you hung up? What are you doing, Tildy? Been in a good stretch? This is how you have a good stretch. I've tried just about every different setup with my tarps and the firewood. I've had the best success by just taking a heavy plastic jug, like the oil jugs, and I fill them up with rocks or sand or even concrete. If you fill them up with water, it freezes, then a lot of times the bottles break. But I get really good success with having sand in there. And as long as they're hanging, they give continuous tension on the tarp, and the tarp stays in place. If I allow the bottles to touch the ground, it doesn't have the same holding power. There's no more tension on the tarp that way, and wind will get under here, be like a big sail, and it'll blow it right off. But as long as these are hanging, they perform like they should. I've messed around with bungee cords and straps of all kinds for too long. This has been the best way. Now, if you want to tie something down and it doesn't have any grommets like this, maybe the grommets on your tarps have all blown out, I'll show you a very easy way to tie something down. This is the way that the Indians did it with teepees and hides or whatever. I mean, they were stretching out a hide, scraping it. They did it in this manner. It's the last I knew, they couldn't just run to Home Depot and get another tarp. So anyway, I'm just going to take a rock. You can use a piece of wood, a golf ball. Don't use any tennis balls if you got a border collie around, because they're going to sniff them out and be tearing your tarp apart. So I do this two different ways. If I'm going to do it like this on something I'm going to be continually unhooking and hooking, I take my rock, I put it in the tarp like that, I take a loop, put it around it, and then stake this down or hook it to a weight like my jugs here. Okay? That way, when I want to get at it, just unhook it, throw the tarp back, get at my firewood or whatever it is I need to get at, and then rehook it. It doesn't have to be down here on the end. It can be hooked way up here, wherever I need it to be. If it's something that's going to be more long-term, like throughout the winter, I want to get something covered and leave it there, instead of using a loop, I'm going to do something a little bit more permanent. I start a knot, work in the same manner, put the loop over that, double up my knot, of course, and then stake this down. It's going to hold that tarp in place for as long as I need it to. Just a little backwoods logic I want to pass on to you today. You know, cutting up the deer myself, it's just part of it. It's like it adds closure to the hunt, you know?
Yes, I do.
It's a lot of work, but I've never really liked taking the deer to some place and paying 60, 70 bucks or whatever they charge to do it. This way I cut it up the way that I want, and it's just part of it. It's hard to explain, but I love it. I love everything about it, even the hard work. Just a reminder, cuz, try not to handle the tarsal glands and then handle the meat. Okay?
Okay.
Because that's really rank, and you'll just transfer that real gamey smell to the meat. A lot of people, they don't think about that when they're cutting up deer.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, man.
Some peppers.
Deer camp salad.
Yeah. Nothing better. Tenderloins, fresh tenderloins. Those were alive this morning.
Yingling, black and tan. Cast iron.
Yeah, this weekend couldn't have gone better.
Oh.
Again, cuz, I thank you.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, it means the world to me.
Great having you here, cuz, and having deer down. I've missed this cabin. Do the happy dance.
We all have a happy dance.
Oh.
Oh, cheers, guys.
That was good, huh?
Oh, that was
Perfect.
fantastic.
Not too overdone, you know. A little pink on the inside.
Yeah, you don't want to overcook this stuff. People get all gimpy about venison. Oh, just don't want to overcook it. Little pink on the inside like that. That's perfect. Here we go. I really love all these birds. It's very therapeutic. You come out here and feel the bird feeders, and you're landing on me and landing on the feeder as I'm putting it up, feeding out of my hands. It's awesome. There's really nothing compares to it. The chipmunk right here, a red squirrel, and on that tree right there, right near me. It's very cool. We're getting a good collection of birds here. We've got chickadees, they call them, I guess, a rose-breasted or red-breasted nuthatch, the white-breasted nuthatch. We've got, it's either the purple finch or the house finch, they're hard to tell. Goldfinches, little tufted titmouse bird, occasional blue jays. We had some evening grosbeaks here the other day. Those are awesome. I haven't had those at a feeder in probably 13, 14 years. And just yesterday, a male cardinal showed up. That's a first for up here too. I haven't even heard them singing. It's pretty awesome. Oh, they're squabbling now. A lot of people recommended that I put the bird feeders far away from the camp. Well, it's a good point, but I don't want the feeders far away from the camp. I like to look out and have them right here. I go in and out of the shed, the birds, I just love them. We've only been feeding the birds here at the camp a short time, This camp's been infested with mice for 60 years, so it wouldn't make a difference. The mice are going to come. If you have a cabin in the woods, all the mice in the area are going to want to move in regardless if you're feeding the birds or not. And this is really good therapy. Yeah. If you're having a bad day, you come out here, mess with the birds, takes your troubles away. Yeah, they're wonderful. I picked up another one of these generators. I've had such good luck with it. But there's nothing here for him. It's a jackknife. I had a 10% off coupon over at Tractor Supply. Stocked up on propane, bought a bunch of stuff. Decided to get that. Save 50 bucks on it, you know. I wanted to have 2 of these lightweight portable generators, so when I take off and go to New York, I don't leave Mama hanging without it. Plus, in the middle of the winter time or whenever, and the other one has a problem, I don't want to have all my eggs in one basket. And we don't have solar yet. This is what charges up the laptops and everything. Been a good one. Looks like they changed it a little bit. We'll see. Power on, gas is on. It's good. Here we go. Let's hope it performs as good as the other one. It changed the color and a couple little things here. I have a 12-volt outlet. Aside from a few little changes, it looks the same. Let's hope it performs the same.
All right, it's that time again. Time for the questions of the week. Before I get started, I just want to thank everyone for all the nice comments that you left on my last video. I was expecting a lot of flack from that video, but it went over a heck of a lot better than I thought it would. I get a lot of really nice comments, and I let a lot of comments that say, you know, people say that I inspire them to live better lives and more productive lives, and I love to hear that. I get quite a few comments from folks in their 60s and 70s. Like I just got one the other day that I want to share a little bit of it with you all. It was a man, I think he said he was 72, and after his wife passed away, well, he didn't do much with his own life, and it's understandable. You know, you lose a loved one like that. But watching my videos, sharing my perspectives, helped give a new perspective to his life and got him thinking. It got him off the couch. And he's doing things that he hasn't done in years. And he was all excited, and he wrote to me. He had gotten out hunting. His guns have sat dormant for decades. He went out and he got the first deer in something like 20-something years. And he was excited, and I'm excited for him, and it was just fantastic. So when people share these positive comments and parts of their life with me, it's inspiring and encouraging to me to carry on with what I do. So it's a win-win, and I absolutely love win-win situations. So I love it. I love all your comments. Now, I get a lot of comments now, and I do my very, very best to answer them all, or at least acknowledge you all. But even on this past video already, the last time I checked, it was 847 comments. Okay. So I can't respond to everyone, and it's getting more and more difficult. But I do read them, and I appreciate them all. I got to tell you, out of that video, there's 847 comments. There's 844 nice responses. and only 3 assholes. So, things are looking up. Yeah. So keep the comments coming and keep the questions coming, and I'll do my very best to answer them every Sunday morning. Okay, first question. Have I ever sprayed peroxide on the ground when looking for blood? I had heard about that probably 20, 25 years ago, and I did try it. I tried it one time, and I felt it was a waste of time. It's not worth carrying the stuff, okay? On the subject of blood, on this last video, because I mentioned blood trails, somebody posted in comments, blood trail means you missed your target, you're a bad hunter. Unfortunately, with people that aren't educated in the real world out there in the outdoors, that's how they view it, because they watch too much TV. You watch a crime show, it's bang, 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 bang. 5 people, 6 people are dead on the ground. In the real world, it doesn't work that way. I've been bow hunting for a long time, and on several occasions, probably 24 occasions, you aim for the heart and lungs. You aim for that firebox. You hit him in the lungs, the arrow goes right through the deer, both sides, okay? The deer runs a little bit, stops, looks around. This happens usually when there's more than one deer there. Looks around, wonders what's going on, goes back to feeding. Never even knew it was hit. It's feeding. After a little bit, it gets woozy, falls to the ground dead. Obviously, it wasn't in pain. It wasn't running around suffering from injuries like people think. You shoot a deer in the heart with a high-powered rifle, and it's going to run like the wind. It's going to go on a dead run for about 150 yards or so before it crashes dead. Okay? So tracking blood doesn't mean it was a bad hit and you're out there tracking wounded deer. You know, there's a big difference what you see on TV and the real world. Like on TV, the shooting, boom, 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 and the bullets are hitting the sheetrock and the wooden trim and they're sparking. Okay, bullets don't spark. There's a big difference between the real world and TV. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Did you make the round firewood holder on the porch? No, I didn't. I bought that one at Tractor Supply. There's a lot of different styles of those hoops out there. Some are just U-shaped, some are round, some are rectangular. I'll put a link down below to one just like that. What trail cameras do you use? I bought a pair of these Terra 10 Extremes. I wanted to try them out. I bought a pair. They take, I think, 8 AA batteries, an SD card. They're 10 megapixel. I really like them. I went out, I bought 2 more, and then I bought 2 more, and I'm going to get rid of my Moultrie ones. What I like about these cameras is they're a no-nonsense camera. If I buy a camera or something and it's got 10 million settings and the user's manual is this thick, it drives me crazy. Like with my cell phone, I want to make a call, I want to send a text. I don't do anything else with it. I've never put an app on my phone. I've had it for like 5 years. With a trail camera, I just wanted to take pictures. I'm not making calendars with the pictures. I just want to see what's roaming my woods. These are fantastic. Put your batteries in, put your SD card in, turn it on. Set the date, set the time, set it if you want to take a picture or a video. Done. It's taking pictures. You go out in the woods, you want to check it, shut it off, take out your card, switch it out, put a new one in, hit the button, you're back in the game. No fiddling with it. It's fantastic. So far, they have treated me well. I've had no problems with these so far. I can't say for the longevity because I've only been using them a few months. I'll put a link down below to these They run between 45 and 50 bucks. If someone steals one, you're not out a big investment. You'll never see me spending $300 for a trail camera. I'll show you down below a few pictures here. Well, here's a few deer pictures during the day. Pretty nice buck there. There's a coyote. Some deer at night with the infrared. Not too bad. Here's a bull moose during the day. Another bull moose. A cow moose at night. There's a bear at night. One of me looking confused. And a funny one of Frankie. Good enough for me. And at 50 bucks a whack, I'm good. I haven't done one of these in a while, but here's a you should moment. Alright, you should just put a bunch of snakes under the cabin to catch the mice. Then you won't have to go through all that trouble of trapping them. Problem solved. Well, if I put a bunch of snakes under the cabin, it would probably cut down on the mouse population. I'll give you that. But it's not problem solved. It's going to just create other problems for me. First off, it's going to eliminate my entertainment. Because when I go into the cabin and I see a few of them floating little bastards in the bucket, it makes my day. Since they burnt down a house of mine, they've trashed my truck and ruined a whole bunch of my stuff throughout the years, I'm not feeling too bad when I see them floating in the bucket. Okay? So that's just my method of handling things, and it handles it very well. It would create new problems for me because when Mama goes under there to get a cabbage or a bag of apples or some potatoes, she's got snakes hissing at her. Well, then I've got a whole nother problem altogether. I just don't like snakes anyway. So, but since we're on the subject of snakes, let me tell you a little story. You know how snakes live in a pit and they hiss in their pit and they hiss around their pit. One time we had a family of garter snakes and there was some pot snakes nearby. Sometimes the pots would come over and hiss in their pit and hiss around their pit, and sometimes they go over to the pot's pit and hiss. Little Mrs. Garter Snake was going to go hunting for the day. She said to her little baby snakes, I don't want you home hissing in our pit all alone. Go over to the pot's pit to hiss and she can look out for you. So they did. They went over to the pot's pit and started hissing in her pit and hissing around their pit. Mrs. Potts come out and says, what are you doing hissing in my pit? Go on home, hiss in your own pit. So they did. They went back home, started hissing in their pit and hissing around their pit, and their mother come home and says, what are you doing here hissing in our pit? I told you to go over to the pot's pit and hiss. They said they did. Mrs. Potts come out, kicked us out. She didn't want us there. She says, the nerve of the old bitch. I remember when the Potts didn't have a pit to hiss in. And that's a true story, but Jesus, yes, but God it is. One more quick one, and we're going to wrap it up. Do I ever eat junk food? Please define junk food. If you mean these Kettle brand crinkle cut potato chips in Buffalo Blue flavor, well, heck yeah, I eat them up. These and hot and spicy Cheez-Its, I love them. I'm not talking any old brand of kettle chips. I mean Kettle brand. These things are yummy. But when you look at the ingredients, really not that bad. I don't see the problem here. Let's look. Potatoes. We're off to a good start already. Safflower and or sunflower and or canola oil. I can live with that. Maltodextrin, sugar, cayenne pepper sauce. It's cayenne pepper sauce powder, aged. Cayenne red pepper, distilled vinegar, salt, garlic powder, sea salt, garlic powder, tomato powder, chili pepper, onion powder, white distilled vinegar powder, citric acid, spice, natural flavors, contains milk. I can live with that. My doctor's always saying, no alcohol, no caffeine, no sugar, no spicy food. Screw that. All that means is I can go without all of the things I love that much longer. You got to live too, you know. Don't abuse yourself. Don't abuse your body. but you gotta live too. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up for now, folks. Don't forget, if you use stuff that I put on my channel that helps your life out, share my channel, okay? Share the love. What comes around goes around. I help you, you help me. That's the way it works in the perfect world, right? So that's it for now. All the best to you. God bless.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.